Charlotte Airport, by the way, mass chaos. One of the most confusing airports I've ever been in my entire. I got lost 3 times because I flew in from Nashville. Y'all flew in from Austin.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a deal.
Yeah.
Just trying to find the rental car area.
People are just sprinting around everywhere. It was pretty chaotic.
Everyone's in a hurry.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that flight home, boys. Let me tell you something. Those of you listening who have listened to this podcast for the last 5 years.
Grumpy Dad segment?
Right? Will Compton has officially become the grumpy guy of the group. Dude, he is standing in the middle of the walkway while me and JP are kind of tucked back, so there's like lanes. Some lady literally was like pushing somebody in a wheelchair, hits Will, and as she's connecting with Will's shoulder, goes, "Excuse me," and bumps him. And we had to deplane. Will's like, just put the fucker down on the ground, like essentially
Time out. Grumpy. But that situation you just explained, I'm not in the middle. I'm standing there talking with you guys.
You're in the right lane.
You're right center.
Yeah, you're in the right lane.
Yeah, I'm right center, but like, say, hey, on your left, like, to what you were saying, and I didn't react or say anything. I just kind of turned, and I'm just thinking, what the fuck just happened?
No, hey, you played middle linebacker. I imagine that's the look you gave a quarterback or a running back when they were walking away from us, locked in.
What do you guys have, like an axe?
Because that shit was crazy. They hit me and then say, excuse me.
There's an epidemic going around in airports where people are getting too comfortable. Like that's not your home. You need to go and you need to understand this is America. You stay on the right side of the lane when you're walking one way. You let people get around. If someone's hurrying, you give them the right of way because obviously they're in a bigger rush than you.
Mm-hmm.
But people are getting a little too comfortable with the bumping, with the hanging out. People with
shoes off. Listen, I know this is a slippery slope, so we can just. I know there's not going to be a lot of reaction or comment even afterwards, but a lot of comfortability as well with taking advantage of getting pushed around the airport.
Getting pushed around,
like people in scooters, people in wheelchairs.
People don't deserve it.
And look, look,
people getting pushed around, like literally pushed.
Yeah, like there are some people that you know in your mind, it's like, hey, fucking,
I see
walk to your goddamn gate,
close my
bro.
eyes right now, I can see those motherfuckers right
and
now.
if you are somebody that needs service, extra service, like I'm assuming you're getting to the airport way earlier than everybody else, to where you shouldn't be in a hurry like that, just getting pushed around by somebody pissed off doing their job, and they're mad doing the service job. Right. It's like if you're in that kind of industry, you should kind of have a little bit of enthusiasm about you. You know what I mean? Because you're like wanting to help people, right?
Yes.
So the person that's like shoving this, that like shoved by me, I was like, oh, excuse me. It's just kind of like, yeah, there was a lot of flair that happened in that particular moment, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But I was pissed that we get on the plane. Number one, we're already delayed, 40 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Delayed 40 minutes. Then we get on the plane and sit down. And we're chilling for a minute before somebody comes.
We're literally sitting there for an hour.
Yeah. And then somebody comes on, is like, oh, they got to check the brake. They're checking the brakes.
Yeah.
And something's kind of going on with the brakes. It should be quick. Like I'm making the decision to not deboard, because if we do that, then we'd have to change the whole brake. And I don't think we have to do that. So then we're chilling there for another little minute.
Yeah.
And then it's next thing I know, we're deboarding the plane. And here's where Grumpy Will comes in.
Bro, but can I just say, like, when I got off the plane, Will's like facing the wall. He's like on the phone, so I'm like kind of I'm walking around, grabbing a water or whatever.
Yeah.
Will gets off the phone, you turn around and you go, bro, what the fuck are we doing?
Loud.
Yeah. What are we doing? Like you're essentially, you're a Karen right now. You're starting this small little piece of being a Karen. I'm like, brother, they're just trying to keep us safe. Like, it is what it is. Like, we can't do nothing about it. He goes, put the fucking plane down. Who cares? Get me back to Nashville.
He said, bro, with safety, they're checking the brake. I'm like, hey, fucking kill us, bro. Like, let us go down. Die young, die hero.
And then Will, your whole thing about wanting to get home so early is because you got something for Rue. I was going to say,
that was truly it.
You got that, and you're like, I want to make sure I give this to Rue before she goes to sleep, which is fine. But we go sit down, and we're hanging out. JP, you take the hilarious, the fat, bald picture of us. We're chilling. Some guy comes up, talks to us. We get up to go to the gate because we realize, hey, we're bored and we might miss the flight now.
We might be missing the flight now.
And Will walks away without the bag. Walks with the bag. And JP's like, look at this, man. Points at the bag. I go, yeah. He goes, and then you look
10
back.
10 seconds later, they paid.
You look back at JP. JP goes, oh, I'll meet you guys. I say to Will, while we're walking without you, JP, I go, hey, what do you think he's doing over there? Knowing you're just getting the bag. He goes, oh, he's probably got to pack some stuff up or whatever. I was like,
he's wired.
I was getting my charger.
I go, hey, I hope he didn't forget anything. And Will just keeps walking. Where did the gate? He goes, oh, fuck. I go, hey, JP's grabbing it, man. Handle yourself.
And then shit, the bag.
And then your wallet. At the hotel.
Well, wallet at the hotel, and Will almost took the rental car keys home with him.
Yeah. Hey,
Fortunately, the rental
this
car
man
guy,
is getting peppered right now.
he watches Bussin'. So he comes running and you hear in the distance, Will. He's like, hey, you got the keys on you? And I'm just thinking.
He said, no, they're on the dash.
I
don't think they are.
Confident as hell when he said that too.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Hang on. I unzip my bag and just see him sitting on top there. But yeah, you know.
Hey, what is it about in every city we go to, the rental car employees know our pod?
Because that's
no
our
matter,
brand, brother.
They're
no
about it.
No, but it's literally every rental car employee in any city. We come to like, dude, love the show, blah, blah, blah. Even when you guys aren't even with us. And is there like some secret union of rental car workers, and then like day one they're like, you got to start watching Bussin' With The Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, when we flew into Charlotte, we went to go to get the rental car, and some guy, slick back hair, nice cat, you could see a tin in his back pocket. And I knew exactly what it was. I go, hey, what is that? This brand in your back pocket? He goes, yes.
The brand we do not say.
The Voldemort brand. We essentially are like, you need to do Lucy, blah, blah, blah. We give him 2 cans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I think you're not allowed to do. But we did. We checked his ID and everything. We're all right.
We checked his ID.
We checked his ID. He's over 18. He's over 18. One thing about airports.
I do want to say the grumpiness was fully due to we were supposed to land in Nashville at 4:30. JP and I was on South Congress Street in Austin, Texas, shopping at, was it Love something? I don't know. I got Rue this dress. By the way, way too expensive of a dress that I didn't even realize until I was checking out. And yeah, Rue knew Dada was coming home. I wanted to give her the dress. I wanted to see her face. And then obviously you got bedtime and everything else that, you know, that's like a lucky thing that I didn't necessarily have to do that I would have had to do that night. But I did want to give her the dress, and I knew she would be stoked. So when we're getting delayed beyond the point of like, I'm just going to have to wait to give it to her tomorrow. That's where the grumpiness was truly festering. And the minute we got beyond like 6:50, 6:45, now we're taking off at 7:30. It's like, oh, we're already beyond it.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Obviously, that's why you're grumpy. Like, you didn't have to explain any of that. We just told that entire story.
I know, but I didn't want that to go missing due to all the grumpy stories that we were saying in between.
But you have gotten
you guys
grumpier.
are riding.
As you've gotten older, you become a grumpy boy. You're a grumpier guy now.
When do I get grumpy?
Right now.
When you're forced to go outside.
Oh, yeah.
No, bro.
Yes, Will is an indoor cat now.
No.
He just wants to sit at home and watch his shows.
When else was I grumpy on that trip?
You're like the dad from Wolf of Wall Street that answers with a British accent. When he's watching his show and he gets all mad and he grabs the phone. Hello? Oh, yeah, how you doing? That's you.
Yeah.
That's, what are we doing out here?
When else was I grumpy on the trip, though?
When we're walking, I don't know if we were in Austin or Austin or Charlotte, but we were walking across the crosswalk. And the guy was letting traffic come through, and we're standing there for a cool 10 seconds. And Will goes, "This guy not see us?"
Bro, he's really turning into that man. He's really turning into that. That is tough. Though I will say and I know we're going to just take it a step further with the whole like getting pushed in a cart thing. I was checking a bag this past Friday to get on a flight, and I see a heavier set gentleman standing up. He's a super tall guy. He stands up, he walks to the counter, he checks his bag, lifts it up himself, and they start talking for a while, and I'm kind of just waiting in line, waiting to put my bag up. And all of a sudden, a wheelchair comes out of nowhere, and he sits down, like not struggling to sit down, sits down in the chair, and they wheel him off.
I'm telling you, bro.
The pre-boarding of airports is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Especially Southwest. Because Southwest, everyone's got their seat in all the other airlines, but when we do pre-boarding, it's like 30 people get on the plane.
30, and then they got to sit in the front. And so they take all the front seats.
All the front seats.
Because if you're just doing carry-on, that front row is nice. Because you're
and if it's like an hour flight.
Yeah. You don't have a checked bag. You're just, you're in and out, bro. But these dudes, it is like 30 people in pre-board that are just fucking, what are we fucking doing?
And you pop up, you're like A3, and you get on there, you're the 20th person on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
One other thing about airports.
Then these boys are on me about tipping, and nothing even happened tipping wise.
Hey, nobody brought that up.
No,
bro.
I was actually saying I agree with your tipping strategy.
Okay,
because there was
you that was part of the grumpiness that you're like Will also with tipping. I'm thinking, man, I don't even think it's that big of a.
I used to be a big tipper, and I've gotten to like I'm a standard 20% guy. Unless somebody goes above and beyond, I might hit at 25. But Will literally has you have an evaluation process.
Yeah, and it's not like that strict. I'm just thinking if you're doing bad at your job of service, you are going to get hit with that. You got to affect their pockets, bro.
We can have a grumpy podcast today because you bring up tipping, and it's getting fucking out of hand too. When they spin that little iPad on you and it hits on that little lazy Susan rip around,
Getting
and
comfortable.
it says fucking 20, 25, 30. It is insane. That is like the lowest tip you can do is 20%. You go get,
Thank you, COVID.
bro.
That's when that shit started.
The tipping is getting nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting out of hand.
Like places like Starbucks and these like, you know, I'm just calling them mainstream spots, like the big dog spots that have places absolutely everywhere. Starbucks being one, McDonald's, like they're flipping it around and you're seeing tips on there now.
Yeah, especially if you go, I get.
Hey,
A
don't
cold brew,
disrespect
keep going back and
McDonald's.
forth.
Black
Don't
iced
disrespect
coffee.
McDonald's.
Yeah, that was just one that came to my
They
head.
don't do
I
that.
never like to disrespect McDonald's, but yeah, like the Starbucks and stuff
I'm
of
sure
the world.
McDonald's got a cult behind them, man. There is a war of just soldiers of the two arches that are ready to go at any point.
Yeah. Your boy, I used to love McDonald's.
But when I go to a coffee shop and I say I'll take a iced black coffee, and before I even am done paying the bill, it's sitting there because all they did was put ice and coffee in a cup, and it flips around to me, and the lowest thing I can do is 20%. Come on, man.
What I have not added to my bag, which I do need to, is, again, you want to do it in as less steps as possible because we're all lazy human beings, but we need to hit custom and put in a custom tip.
No, what we need is a debit card that looks like a reverse Uno card and hand it to them. There's your solution.
Oh, pay me.
That is funny, man. Reverse Uno.
It's out of nowhere, a reverse Uno card.
Welcome
Here.
to Bussin' With The Boys, dude. 22 minutes of bitching. That's what we did here today on this episode. And that's okay. If you have a complaint, dude, hit it in the comments. We're here for you. That's what we do.